in general, what makes Sacramento State 11-0? What strikes you first about what you've seen?
Well, I think they're solid all the way across the board in all three phases, and they're well coached. But I do think, when you got really great teams and to go on to just when you got great teams, I mean, you got some special players, and I think they got a couple special players on offense, a couple special players on defense. That can carry the load when you need it, and they're a good football team and a really good conference.
I was going to ask you about that conference. Is there any way to really ascertain, is that CAA level? Is that something different? Do you have your finger on that pulse quite yet?
I don't know. I can't. It's hard to kind of differentiate between conferences. I know they've got some really good teams in that league. Seems a little bit just looking at scores. They're pretty top heavy with probably 5 or 6 really good ones, and then probably 6 or 7 not so good ones. Probably our league was about the same. With 5 or 6 really good ones and 5 or 6 that didn't have quite the years you'd want them to have, that you'd think they could have.
Are you preparing for a wet game?
Oh, yeah.
You pretty confident that's going to happen?
Looks like it on the weather forecast. I check it pretty routine.
What does that mean in terms of how?
I don't know. It was raining this morning when we practiced, and it was good. We needed, normally you do wet balls, but it was forecast for rain, and probably the first half of practice it rained, and then the second half of practice it stopped raining. But the wind blew a little bit out there this morning. So the conditions that we probably are going to see, we had a chance to see for probably about half the practice. Again, I don't know. I think the one thing is the balls, they can keep them semi-dry. It's your hands. Do you wear gloves? We had all these conversations before we were supposed to play Elon in the rain. And, all right, do we wear gloves? Do you not wear gloves? For that's really the wideouts and the running backs catching the ball. I don't know, but it is it's supposed to rain and not just a shower, but it sounds like rain.
And lastly, for me, any hiccups with the planning? Everything smooth? You ready to roll?
Yeah, Dave Legg's done a great job. He got on it pretty quickly Saturday night, and they'll give you certain people you got to call, and they normally send the bids out for the planes, and they tell us what plane we got. They have the bus line set. We just got to call them and give them an itinerary. The hotel's set. So, yeah, Dave's done a great job with it, and him and I were just kind of finalizing everything before I came in here.
Thank you.
They have turf out there, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they remind you, I know John said the comparison with the conference, do they remind you of anybody that you played this year, particularly with rotating quarterbacks?
Well, the rotating quarterback thing is, obviously we haven't seen that. And, we just got to kind of have a couple game plans ready for whatever quarterback's in the game. They both are playing well. They're both moving the team. And obviously they like them both, so they're playing them both. And the one thing you can see is when it gets to third down situations, not 3rd and 1 or 2, but definite potential passing situations, they bring in number 12. So that's for sure. And anytime it gets to 3rd and 1, they bring in number 10. But they'll start a series with number 10 and let him go. And then if it gets 3rd and 10 or something, then they'll bring the other guy in and vice versa. So they're in and out quite a bit. You'd be amazed. It's not like go this series. I mean, they basically do it, in down and distance situations.
Did Did last week sufficiently take care of any playoff butterflies that any of your guys might have had from not playing at this level, or was that even a concern?
I don't think it was a concern, no. They just treated it like another game. And then this week, same way, treating it like another game. And it's, it's all about preparation, what you do during the week, how you get yourself ready to play. And then, but, it's Sacramento State's got a really good football team. I mean, they can play, and we're gonna have to play well.
Coach Huseman, in general, could you speak to the value of reaching the playoffs and advancing in the playoffs and being still standing this time of year in terms of the impact on the program?
It's fun. I feel great for some of these guys that have been in the program for a while. Phil O'Connor, Aaron Dykes, those guys that have been here for a while and haven't had the opportunity and now getting this opportunity. And, I don't know if we've been close, at 6-5, but I know we've lost some tough ones in the past where it kept us from getting to 8 in certain seasons. But these guys, they believe in themselves. They believed they had a good football team. They believed we could be a playoff team, and they played like it this year.
As you look forward into player acquisition, I won't say recruiting anymore because different ways that happen.
God, that's a good way to put it, man.
How does this help? Does it catch the attention, perhaps, of those who are interested in finding a place to play college football?
Well, no, because we basically have our high school class done. So it's, and that's been a while. So, again, moving forward here, adding players onto the roster, it probably could help. But for the high school guys, these guys are picking Richmond for a lot of reasons. And, obviously they want to win, no question. But the academic component's huge for a lot of the guys. Culture fit is big, but probably winning's way up there for sure. And showing that we can win and be competitive is huge.
Bryson, the obvious question for a defensive player this week would be, isn't it obvious to know when they're going to throw and when they're not going to throw based on who's taking snaps? Obviously it's not, because 11 teams couldn't figure it out.
Mm-hmm. They have a few tendencies, as you can see, throughout the quarterbacks. But, both of the quarterbacks you have are really talented. Number 10, he comes from another group of 5 school, and he's really capable of throwing the ball too. So, I feel like regardless, you got to respect both of them, both of them are really talented. So.
And do they remind you of anybody that you've seen in this league or in non-conference competition?
I feel like a little bit of maybe William and Mary, but that's just because of the 2-quarterback system, and that was probably the only team we saw who really had a 2-quarterback system.
Ryan, could you tackle that one in terms of what you see? Does it look like CAA football when you watch them play UC Davis or any of their other opponents?
I think it's hard to compare them to conference play, but they're a super talented team. Their front seven's probably the best that we're going to see all year or have seen. So I couldn't compare them, but they're good. It's hard to say. We haven't seen any teams out west. We haven't seen any of their competition, so I'm not sure exactly how to compare them, but I know that we got to respect them. I know they're good. I know they play good teams. So.
And I wonder just the excitement level, not only being in the second round of the playoffs, but going across the country, new environment. That's kind of neat, kind of different. I wonder if you could address that, either of you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool thing for us. I think probably half the team hasn't been out to California or anywhere out west, so it's going to be a first for a lot of us, including myself. So I think we're definitely excited for that. It's a cool opportunity to have.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I've never been to California either, so I'm just really excited to play out west and just see what West Coast ball has to offer.
Thank you.
Where is the confidence level of this team, and is it as high or higher than it's been all season?
I mean, for the most part, we just stay like straight and steady. I mean, we're really confident. I mean, we've been confident all year because I mean, like, we got the players, and like we just trust our coaching, and we just been meshing really well. So, I mean, not trying to get too high, not trying to get too low, just trying to get the job done.
100% agree with what Bryson said. We have our goal of going 1-0 every week, and we don't take any game differently. We take every game as if it's our biggest game, and so it just happens to be Sacramento State this week.
You can look at a record, and you can look at scores from each game, and you can watch film on these guys, but how much of it will you really find out once the ball is snapped? I mean, how prepared can you get for a team with which you have absolutely no history or, intimate knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, surely there's an adaptation period in the first couple drives of the game. You kind of figure it out. The one thing we're focused on is don't let those first couple of drives, like, we can't just feel our way out too much. We got to attack them. That's the hardest part about playing a team that you know nothing about. It's really easy to start slow because you want to feel it out. So that's one of our goals, especially in the offensive line room. We need to come out firing right away. Can't wait around.
It just comes down to trusting your coaching and just trusting all the film that you watch every week. They might come out in something different, but we'll adjust to that. We've been in that situation multiple times this year. So, I mean, it just comes down to adjusting and just playing ball.
Coach said that you guys thought you were a playoff team from August. You can think it, but the fact that you guys have made it this far, have a win under your belt, what's this? I don't want to say a sense of accomplishment because the season's not over yet, but what's the sense of pride that you guys have in what you've been able to do this year?
I mean, we have belief since day one. I mean, since camp, working out all over the summer. I mean, we knew we weren't going to put in all the work for nothing. We was going to have to be cashed out eventually. So, we're just really happy to be in this situation, but we knew what we wanted, what was the main goal the whole time, go 1-0 each week, and that just happened to bring us to where we are.
I think Coach Huseman talked about it a little while ago, but there's been a lot of guys in this program that have worked hard for so many years and been so close, and we've felt that we can do this since I've gotten here. So this will be my 4th year of thinking that it's possible, and it's finally come together for us. I think we have a different sense of confidence that we've had in the past. There's been times in the past where we're like thinking, oh, it could happen, but this year we're going to make it happen. There's not going to be a question about it when week 10 comes around. We're going to have enough wins that we need to get there. So.